Vaman, Ram, then Kalki, Haldar, and Buddha. So these are the 10 incarnations. So in this, does the name of Krishna comes? No. In this, the name of Krishna doesn't come. Sometimes people say that Krishna is incarnation of Vishnu. But in this song, we don't find Krishna as the incarnation of Vishnu. He is mentioned as he is the one who is taking incarnation. He is not the person who is, he doesn't appear as one incarnations. So we can tell to those people who say that Krishna is incarnation of Vishnu, that in this bhajan we don't find. Rather we say that Krishnaya Tubhyam Namaha. Oh Krishna, you are the person who has taken these 10 incarnations, and so Krishnaya Tubhyam Namaha. So this is kind of explanation we find in this verse. So that's what we can tell to them. Okay. So we begin with prayers, short prayers. Om Ajnana Timirandhasya Jnana Shalakaya Chakshurunmilitam Yena Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha. Shri Chaitanya Bhishtam Sthapitam Yena Bhutale Swayambhuva Tadamayam Dadati Swapadantikam Vande Aham Shri Guru Shri Yudapadakamalam Shri Guru Vaishnavamscha Shri Rupam Sagrajatam Sahaganarghunatham Vitam Tam Sajivam Sadvaitam Savadhutam Parijana Sahitam Krishna Chaitanya Devam Shri Radha Krishna Padam Sahaganarita Shri Sadhanvitamscha Namo Vishnu Padaya Krishna Pristhaya Bhutale Srimate Bhaktivedanta Swami Niti Namine Namaste Saraswati Deve Gauravani Pracharine Nirvishesh Shunyavadi Paschatya Deshatarine Namo Mahavadanyaya Krishna Prema Pradayate Krishnaya Krishna Chaitanya Namine Gaur Krishna He Krishna Karuna Sindhu Dinabandhu Jagaspate Gopesha Gopika Kanta Radha Kanta Namostute Tapta Kanchana Gaurangi Shri Radhe Vrindavaneshwari Vrishabhanu Sute Devi Pranamami Haripriye Nilachara Nivasaya Nityaya Paramatmane Balabhadra Subhadrabhyam Jagannathaya Te Namaha Vancha Kalpatarubhyasya Kripa Sindhubhya Cha Patitanam Pavanebhyo Vaishnavebhyo Namo Namaha Jai Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadha Srivasadi Gaur Bhaktavrinda Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare. So we are reading from Srimad Bhagavatam, 3rd canto, 16th chapter, 26th verse. 3, 16, 26. 3, 16, 26. So the background is that the Jaya and Vijay, they tried to stop the 4 Kumaras who were trying to enter inside. So they had already crossed through some gates, and this was the last one. But now at this particular gate they were stopped. So then they become very angry. Why you are stopping me? And then they cursed Jay and Vijay that you have to go to material world. So after hearing this curse, they were very much afraid. So then Lord comes and he adjusts the situation. He pacifies both Jay Vijay and 4 Kumaras, and then he speaks this verse. Shri Bhagavan Uvacha Etau Sure Taragatim Pratipadya Sadyaha Samrambha Sambhrita Samadhi Anubadha Yogau Bhuyah Shakasham Upayasyat Ashuyo Vaha Shapomayaiva Nimitasthadareta Vipraha. Translation. The Lord replied, O Brahmanas, know that the punishment you inflicted on them was originally ordained by me, and therefore they will fall to a birth in a demoniac family. But they will be firmly united with me in thought through mental concentration, intensified by anger, and they will return to my presence shortly. Purport by His Divine Grace A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Srila Prabhupada ki Jai. The Lord stated that the punishment inflicted by the sages upon the doorkeepers Jai and Vijay was conceived by Lord Himself. Without the Lord's sanction, nothing can happen. It is to be understood that there was a plan in the cursing of the Lord's devotees in Vaikuntha, and His plan is explained by many stalwart authorities. The Lord sometimes desires to fight. The fighting spirit also exists in the Supreme Lord. Otherwise, how could fighting be manifested at all? Because the Lord is the source of everything, anger and fighting are also inherent in His personality. When He desires to fight with someone, He has to find an enemy. But in the Vaikuntha world, there is no enemy, because everyone is engaged fully in His service. Therefore, He sometimes comes to the material world as an incarnation in order to manifest His fighting spirit. In Bhagavad Gita 4.8 also, it is said that Lord appears just to give protection to the devotees and to annihilate the non-devotees. The non-devotees are found in the material world, not in the spiritual world. Therefore, when the Lord wants to fight, He has to come to this world. But who will fight with the Supreme Lord? No one is able to fight with Him. Therefore, because the Lord's pastime in the material world are always performed with His associates, not with others, He has to find some devotee who will play the part of an enemy. In the Bhagavad Gita, the Lord says to Arjuna, "My dear Arjun, both you and I have appeared many, many times in this material world, but you have forgotten, whereas I remember." Thus, Jai and Vijay were selected by the Lord to fight with Him in the material world, and that was the reason the sages came to see Him, and accidentally the doorkeepers were cursed. It was the Lord's desire to send them to material world, not perpetually, but for some time. Therefore, just as on a theatrical stage someone takes the part of enemy to the proprietor of the stage, although the play is for a short time and there is no permanent enmity between the servant and the proprietor, so the Surajanas devotees were cursed by the sages to go to the Asurajana or atheistic families. That a devotee should come into an atheistic family is surprising, but it is simply a show. After finishing their mock fighting, both the devotee and the Lord are again associated in the spiritual planets. That is very explicitly explained here. The conclusion is that no one falls from the spiritual world or Vaikuntha planets, for it is the eternal abode. But sometimes, as the Lord desires, devotees come into this material world as preachers or as atheists. In each case, we must understand that there is a plan of the Lord. Lord Buddha, for example, was an incarnation, yet he preached atheism. So there is no God, but actually there was a plan behind this, as explained in the Bhagavatam. So this shloka, beautiful shloka, where so many wonderful things are being explained here. So the translation goes as: the Lord replied, "O Brahmanas, know that the punishment you inflicted on them was originally ordained by me, and therefore they will fall to a birth in demoniac family." Why Lord speaks this shloka is because when the Brahmanas, they cursed Jai and Vijay, and then later on Lord comes, and by smelling the tulsi on the lotus feet of Lord, that purifies them, and that what it does is the impersonal conception that they had in their understanding, that was disturbed, and they became devotees. And also the two gatekeepers, they also fell to their feet and they begged their pardon, that please forgive us. So because of seeing their humility, they got melted, and they could feel that, Arey, maybe we have wrongly cursed the Jai and Vijay. And the way Lord replied to them, the way Lord answered to them, talked to them, nobody could understand that what he wants to say. It was so deep in meaning that nobody could decide that Lord, whose part Lord is taking. Is Lord happy with Brahmana, or is he angry with Brahmana? Is he happy with his doorkeepers, or is he not happy with doorkeepers? None of these four things could be decided by his talk. So for example, he speaks that, my dear Brahmanas, Brahmanas are so dear to me that if anybody, if they offend me, then I am, if even my hands offend them, then I am ready to lop off my hands from my body. Now this is not so easy. So, from one angle it will appear that Lord is praising Brahmanas, that you see, Brahmanas, they are so great that for his sake he can even give up his hands. But if you see from another angle, then also you can understand that how what they have done is, by cursing the Jai and Vijay, they have actually, they are doing things just like, chopping off the hands of Lord. It's like as painful to Lord, because his own devotees are being cursed, so he will not be happy. So like that he speaks many verses, and all the verses are so difficult to fathom that they could not understand. Now the four Kumaras, they are most wise people of this universe, among the most wise people. They are not some ordinary people. They are not some ordinary Jnani. They are most intelligent. They are directly the first sons of Brahmaji, and who have maintained brahmacharya from their birth. They have never they never even grew up in size, so that they could be fully focused in their impersonal Brahman conception, not to be disturbed by anything. So their body is made of intelligence. They are fully intelligent beings, but still they could not understand that what Lord wants to say. Maybe he is not happy with us, maybe he is happy with us. So then again this sloka he speaks, then he gives them some solace that, okay Brahmanas, don't worry. Actually the curse you have given to them, that was actually planned by me only. Don't think that you have wrongly cursed them, and you don't have to worry about it, because it was my plan. So now somebody may say, "Arey, ye kya planning kiya Bhagwan ne? Why he is cursing his own devotees? He is making he is making arrangements so that his own devotees could be cursed. Why he is doing that?" So then the answer is given that, but they will, punishment explained to them was originally ordained by me, and therefore they will fall to a birth in demoniac family, but they will be firmly united with me in a thought through mental concentration intensified by anger, and they will return to my presence shortly. So then, although they will go to material world, but then their thought will be always fixed upon me. So this is a prayer which devotees offer, that, O Lord, Kita janma hoye jadi hoy tomar das, bahir mukha brahma janme nahi mora ash. So Bhakti Vinod Thakur prays that even if due to my own karma I have to accept Kita janma, still I pray that, O Lord, let me become a kit, but in the house of a devotee, rather than being a Brahma who is not favorable to you, or who is opposed to you. I don't want to take that post. So this is the aspiration of a devotee. Similarly, King Kulsekhar, he was yesterday our Mohan was quoting this sloka. Naham vande tava charanayor dvandvam madanda hetu kumbhi pakam gurumapi narake napanetum Ramya Rama Mridutanulata Nandanena Pirantum Bhave Bhave Hridaya Bhavane Bhavayeyam Bhavantam. O Lord, I don't pray for any benediction. Naham Vande Tava Charanayoh. I don't worship your lotus feet for Dvandam Madanda Hetuhu, to come out of this entanglement of material world. Dvandva means duality, that basically means this material world. So I'm not praying to you for coming out of this material world. Then Naham Vande Tava Charanayoh Dvandam Madanda Hetuhu. Kumbhi Pakam Gurumapi Harir. Also, I don't pray that let me be delivered from the hellish life, and nor do I pray for going to heavenly planets. What do you pray? Bhave Bhave Hridaya Bhavane Bhavayeyam Bhavantam. O Lord, by your mercy, my thoughts, my actions, my thoughts especially be always be focused on you. My consciousness be always concentrated upon you. That is the only prayer a devotee has. So a devotee, it's not that a devotee immediately becomes pure devotee. Devotee may take some time to become purified, but still his prayers are very pleasing to Lord, because he doesn't pray for his own. He prays that, O Lord, I may remember you, I may serve you. That is the only benediction. Even if I have to take birth due to my own karma, Purva karma anurupam, due to my own karma, if I have to take many births, I don't mind that. But what I should be able to do, I should be able to remember you. So this is the prayers. This was also the prayers which Jaya Vijay asked Brahmana, that please let me not forget Lord. So then they said that okay, fine. So then they made the arrangement. Okay, how do you want to remember Lord? Do you want to remember Lord as enemy or as friend? If as friend, then 7 births. As enemy, then 3 births. So then they chose to be enemies. So that is the incidence. So how this should be our aspiration, that, oh Lord, my mental concentration be intensified, be fully on you. And also they wanted intense concentration. They choose, why did they choose enemical role? Because when you become someone's enemy, then the anger towards that person is very intense. You cannot forget that person for a moment. If somebody is your friend, then okay, fine, you remember him sometimes, and maybe sometimes you are busy with your own things. But if somebody is deadly enemy, then that never goes away. Always it's there in the head. So, and also Lord inspires them to take this kind of benediction, because he wanted to have a fight, right? So now Prabhupada, we saw in the case of last section that I had taken, that was of Bhishma Dev. So Bhishma Dev also, he is also like Lord's eternal servant, but then he came to this material world so that he could also give pleasure to Lord in this rasa of fighting. Similarly, again, Lord sends these devotees to this material world so that he could enjoy fighting with them. So we should not pray like that, that, oh Lord, let me become your enemy, but rather our prayer should be like our acharyas. Okay, this is his prayer, but then our acharyas, they did not pray in the mood of unfavorable service. They always prayed for a favorable service. Let it be in the even house of a devotee, let me be a kita, a worm in the house of a devotee, so that I can get the remnants of such a devotee. So our acharyas have not taught us unfavorable devotional service, that is Anyabhilashita Sunyam Gyan Karmadi Anavritam Anukulyena Krishna Nusidana. So our service should be favorable to Lord's pleasure. Okay. And then Prabhupada says that how their coming to this material world was just like a theoretical stage, which take part, somebody takes part as enemy, somebody takes part as friend, but that is just for as long as drama is going on, only that long things will be there. After drama is over, then you will find that both of the enemy and friends, they are walking together. They don't have any enmity with them, between them. So similarly, Lord arranges situation in such a way that there is apparently a fight, and then they again go back to Godhead. So now Lord does one thing, but he has to teach many lessons. So when they are acting as Hiranyakasipu and Hiranyaksha, then don't think that they are devotees. At that time they are demons. They are not acting as a devotee. So at that time they are manifesting qualities of demons, and that for that period we have to see them that okay, what lessons we can learn from their activities. So that should be our focus. Lord performs some pastimes. So one thing was that he wanted to have some fun. So that's fine. But that was like Lord's purpose. But what should be our purpose in reading those pastimes? So our purpose should be to learn lessons, what we can learn from their personalities, from their behavior. Another point Prabhupada mentions is a devotee should come into an atheistic family is surprising, but this is simply a show. The conclusion is that no one falls from the spiritual world or Vaikuntha planet, for it is the eternal abode. But sometimes, this is important sentence, but sometimes, as the Lord desires, devotees come into this material world as preachers. Sometimes devotees come in this material world as preachers. So his son Prahlad, he was also a devotee, and he comes to this world as preacher or as atheist. Sometimes devotees come to this material world as preachers or as atheist. In each case, we must understand that there is a plan of the Lord, whether one is acting as an atheist or whether one is acting as a devotee. There is a plan of Lord, and Prabhupada says here that actually no one falls down. The conclusion is that no one falls from the spiritual world or Vaikuntha planets, for it is eternal abode. Now this is very controversial topic, and I will not get into the whether there is a fall down or not fall down or whatever. But at least here Prabhupada mentions that no one falls down from Vaikuntha. Somebody may come as atheist means Nastik, those who don't believe in God. Hiranyakasipu is the best example.
He was really atheist or sent by Lord that you have role for atheist? Role for atheist.
When he was sent by Lord, at that time he had role for atheist, and when he came to this world, then he was acting actually as an atheist. That's why who is atheist we have to know. Vishnu Bhakta Bhavet Daiva Asura Tark Viparjaya. Very simple definition. Who is atheist? One who is not a worshipper of Krishna, Vishnu. Or okay, if somebody is worshipping Kali, but if he knows that Krishna is God, then fine. But if somebody is worshipping Kali with the understanding that Kali only is God, or with the understanding that Kali or Krishna both all are same, so then they are counted amongst the atheists. They are not counted among the atheists. Yeah, Brahma Rudratam Daivatam. There is one sloka in Bhagavad Gita, Prabhupada quotes from one scripture, that if anybody equates Brahma or Shiva with Lord Vishnu, saying that all are same, Sa Pasandi Bhaved Dhruva, immediately he becomes a Pasandi. So this is very definition. Yes.
मतलब जैसे बोले प्रभुपाद भी बताते हैं कि स्लोली क्या करना है, जैसे बहुत पहले पिछले जन्म में हम लोग डेमीगॉड का सेवा करते हैं, तो डेमीगॉड क्या करता है, बहुत अच्छे से अगर डेमीगॉड का सेवा करें तो डेमीगॉड क्या करता है, वो इंस्पिरेशन देता है या मतलब डायरेक्शन देता है कि आप कृष्णा की तरफ जाइए. तो मतलब हम कैसे भी उसको अच्छे से बोल देंगे.
So as long as he has not accepted direction of demigods to become a devotee of Krishna,
मतलब अभी के जैसे ये मतलब प्लेटफॉर्म हम लोग जैसे देखते हैं, जैसे बहुत सारे लोग डेली गॉड का वर्शिपर है, तो वो लोग को ये
Okay,
पता
अभी
नहीं
आप पूछ रहे कि अभी what should we do now in society? Like,
हाँ
should we see everyone as atheist? Uh, if you see the definition of Bhagavatam, then definitely anybody who doesn't accept the superiority of Krishna or Krishna as supreme personality of Godhead, then certainly they are atheists. But point is that how do we have to deal with those atheists? It's not that somebody is a demon, then we have to kill them. Krishna has not told to kill the demons, or Chaitanya Mahaprabhu specifically has not told us to kill the demons. What he told us? He told us, preach
करना
preach Krishna consciousness and try to deliver. There is one sloka in Bhagavatam which says, somebody remembers that sloka, that one should be friendly with devotees, one should be worship the Lord, be friendly to devotees, and show compassion to the fallen, and keep distance from the envious. Prema Maitri Kripa Peksha. These are the 4 kinds of dealing one a devotee has to do with 4 different kinds of people. Ishvara tad adhineshu balishu sesu dvisatsu cha prem maitri kripa peksha. So Ishwar, with Ishwar one has to show prem, one has to show his love for Lord. Then Ishvara tad adhineshu, those who are his adhin, devotees, so prema maitri, with them one should develop friendship. कृपा किसके लिए? सो फॉर दोज प्रेम मैत्री कृपा अपेक्षा ईश्वर तद अधीनेषु बालिशेषु, दोज हु आर बालिश मीन्स दे आर नॉट से एनवियस ऑफ लॉर्ड, दे मे बी इग्नोरेंट, दे मे नॉट नो दैट हु इज गॉड. सो इन दैट केस वी शुड शो देम कंपैशन. बट इफ somebody is outright envious, then it's better to keep distance from them. For example, there are some, like I wrote some articles on Coda. There is one platform of Coda. So there are some people, if you write some articles, that who is God, if you try to explain, then many people will accept it. But okay, thank you for explaining things like that. So what does it mean? They are like ignorant. They may not know before, but when you explain to them, then they accept it, and they are happy to follow things. So that they can be categorized as balisheshu. They are just ignorant. But there are others who are outright envious. They may be even devotees of Kali. There are many who are Ram, Krishna, things like there are some organizations or whatever, their followers, and when we say that Krishna is God, immediately they become enraged, and they will cite many different slokas that how Krishna is not God, actual God is Kali, you should worship him. The Vaishnavas, they are bogus people, things like that. So that means they cannot be counted amongst atheists. They are atheists. Now we don't have to go and kill them even if they are atheists. Just keep distance from them. Don't have to deal with them too much. That's what the action we should take. Also, one thing we should understand, that whenever Lord performs some pastime, so this is specifically regarding the characters who participate in the Lord's pastime. That there is one song by Narottam Das Thakur which says, Gaurangera Sangi Jane Nitya Siddha Kori Mane Se Jaye Brajendra Suttapas. So if anybody who knows that the associates of Lord Chaitanya, they are eternally his associates. Gauranga Girsangi Gana Nitya Siddha Karimane. They are not amongst the conditioned souls. So they go to Sejai Brajendra Supas, they will go to Krishna. So whenever Lord comes to this world, and the people with whom Lord deals, they cannot be ordinary people. Lord deals only with his own people. So they are Nitya Siddha Kodimana. Gauranga's Sangi Jane, those who are his close associates, especially Gauranga's Sangi Jane, those who are close associates of Lord, they are his Nitya Siddha Bhakta. So we should never, that's why we should never try to judge their personality.
तो फिर हम लोग प्रे क्यों नहीं करते हैं? जैसे प्रहलाद महाराज हम लोग प्रे करते हैं, तो वो भी मतलब लीला में मतलब पार्टिसिपेट किए, तो उनके पिताजी भी मतलब उसी तरह लॉर्ड का ही वो थे, तो हम लोग उनको उनसे क्यों नहीं प्रे करते?
हम उनको प्रे नहीं करते हैं बिकॉज इन दैट पर्टिकुलर रोल ही डिड नॉट एक्ट एज ए डिवोटी. बट इफ यू गो टू एनी टेम्पल, even in ISKCON road, then you will find that Jai Vijay are standing there. So we can pray to Jai Vijay because in that role they acted as a devotee. So Gauranga gets into it. So the devotees who participate in Lord's pastime, they are all eternally liberated. For example, when Lord, he cursed Chota Haridas. He did not curse, but he rejected Chota Haridas because he had some wrong thought. So he told that I don't want to see his face. He is impostor. He is a cheater. So I don't want to see his face. So at that time, all devotees tried to request Lord that please forgive him, but Lord was very strict. He did not. So finally, Chota Haridas, he did lot of penance, and then after 1 year he went to Haridwar or some place on the bank of Ganges. Prayag. And then he committed suicide. And then the news came to Mahaprabhu, and then he says, very good, he has done the right thing. Now somebody will say, Mahaprabhu, you are so merciful. How you can be, ठीक है, you may maintain your anger towards him till the time he was alive, but maybe if he hears that, oh Mahaprabhu, he has left his body because you rejected him, then maybe Mahaprabhu may think that maybe I should have not rejected him. But no, he was very strict. He said, yes, he has done the right thing. So then somebody may say that, how can Mahaprabhu be so hard-hearted? But no, Mahaprabhu is Namo Mahavaranyaya. He is most merciful incarnation. Most merciful, but what kind of mercy you are going to your own associate? So actually Lord does something through his devotee to teach us some particular lesson. So, and that he can do only with his very intimate devotee. Just like Arjuna, he comes in illusion, apparently in illusion, so that we could get some wonderful lessons. So with Chota Haridas, he wanted to strictly give this lesson, strongly give this lesson that you cannot be a cheater, you cannot be impostor. Be what you are, be honest. If you try to cheat, then I will reject you. I don't accept you. Had he not rejected him, then people, anyway now people are they are cheaters and they just dress themselves as sadhu and they do all nonsense. So then Mahaprabhu very strongly gave this message that you cannot expect such things with me. So now, but now it's not that Mahaprabhu actually rejected him. Mahaprabhu actually did not reject him. That is seen when Mahaprabhu goes to ocean in Puri, seashore, when at that time one very nice mystical voice is heard doing kirtans. So actually he was enjoying or relishing the kirtans of Chota Haridas in his ethereal body or in his spiritual body. He was singing beautiful kirtans and Lord was accepting his kirtans. It's not that Lord has accepted him, rejected him eternally. No, that was just to demonstrate to conditioned souls that we should be very strict in whatever varna or ashrama we are situated. We have to strictly follow the rules of those varnashrama. Although at other place Lord himself has rejected varnashrama. This is not something very important. This is external, but still, if we are acting in this world as particular role, then we have to strictly follow the rules meant for those varna and ashrama. Otherwise, we will become impostor to Lord and he may not accept us. So, in Lord's pastime, like those who are very intimately or very closely dealing with Lord, we should know that they are not some ordinary people. They are Lord's eternal servant. Maybe just for time being they have accepted this role. Okay. Somebody has any question?
उनको जैसे he sent Jai Vijay to here, and the name in the form of Jai Vijay as a demon he came there, and the same people were disturbing the Brahmanas. And so and he also said that फिर वो एक तो सजा भी दे रहे हैं, फिर बजाने भी आ रहे हैं, कह भी रहे हैं कि हम तो ये
सजा भी दे रहे हैं और
साधु लोग जैसे कि तपस्या ऊपर से जो भी भांग करवा रहे हैं,
हाँ।
कुछ करवा रहे हैं, तो वो तो भेजे उसको नीचे, तो साधु को तो उन्हीं का भक्त से उनको अपने भक्त को अपने भक्त से भक्ति करवा रहे हैं सर।
why he is doing this?
साधु का क्या इसमें दोष है? जो सेवा भाव
Okay.
करता है।
He- so Prabhu's question is that अरे he is sending his own devotee and फिर अपने ही भक्तों को trouble दे रहे हैं. Why he is doing that? What is the fault of that sadhu? So that's why we should know that just like here the Brahmanas, they were thinking that oh, I have wrongly cursed this person, maybe we should have not cursed Jai Vijay, but then Lord said that no, don't worry, actually it's my plan due to which they have been cursed. So they have just become an instrument in Lord's plan.
तो ये साधु
So wait a minute, I am coming to answer. I got your question and I am answering your question. So now the question is okay, fine, all right, everything is all right. But then why Lord is troubling the sadhus? He comes to protect sadhus, but here he appears to be troubling the sadhus. You see, if you read the chapter of how Hiranyakasipu he terrorizes the universe, so then you will find that Hiranyakasipu he sends his people throughout the universe, and he stops the different sacrifices, and then he removes the demigods from their posts. So you may say, "Arey, why Lord, he removing demigods from their post? Bechare log, they have to suffer so much." So from one pastime, Lord accomplishes hundreds and thousands of purposes. We may just get to know a few. So one thing is that sometimes demigods become very complacent in their devotional service. So now Lord creates a situation where they realize that oh, this world is not a very good place. Let us become serious and let us give up our pride. So sometimes in Lord's eyes, pride is a greater problem than not having a post. If somebody has got pride in his heart, then he takes it very seriously. Oh, there is big problem. But if someone's post goes away, he has to wander in the forest. That Lord says, fine, it's okay. I'll give you food, don't worry. So how Lord sees things and how we see things, they may be quite different. And we have to learn to see from the eyes of Lord, and that we can do when we see through the eyes of Shastras. So that is why when the troubles come in the life of a devotee, then it's not that that trouble is coming directly. It has not been sanctioned by Krishna. Krishna has certainly sanctioned it, that's why it is coming to us. So that's why how does the devotee take that trouble?
by accepting Krishna's mercy.
तत्तेनुकंपाम सुसमीक्षमानो भुंजान एवात्म कृतम विपाक। मैंने ही बहुत सारा पाप किया था और बहुत सारा किया था, and what Lord is doing, he is standing a little आत्मकृतम विपाकम तद्वाग विपुर्भिर विदुदन नमस्ते. So that's why he thanks the Lord from his heart and engages in devotional service from his mind, body and soul. If somebody can do that, then what happens? Sadaya bhag जीवेत य मुक्ति पद sadaya bhag. If somebody can maintain this consciousness, then this very life will be his last life and he will be directly landing to Goloka. Now suppose that Hiranyakasipu tortured some brahmanas or whatever, he killed, even suppose they killed some brahmanas, and now if the same brahmanas were in this consciousness that oh Lord, you are so merciful, and because of your mercy we are giving up our life, he is torturing us, so let us thank you. So if they leave their body in this consciousness, then what will happen? Tell what will happen? They will go back to Godhead, last body. On the other hand, they remain as Brahmana, they do their ritualistic activities, swaha, swaha करते रहेंगे, demigods करते रहेंगे. Then they will go to heaven, then again punya khatam, then again they have to come to Prithvi, and then this cycle will go on. So what is Lord plan, actual plan, nobody can accomplish. So that's why Lord, he says also that Bhishmadev says that, oh Pandavas, it's not possible that you have suffered so much, although you are always in the side of dharma. So actually nobody knows the plan of this has been done by time, and Krishna is that time personified, and nobody can ascertain the plan of Krishna. What is his plan? Only he knows why he does something, and it's not our purpose to know what is plan of Lord, but rather we should take it as an opportunity that whatever happens in my life, oh Lord, this is an opportunity to thank you and engage in your devotional service. So that is the kind of consciousness that we should try to absorb in our life, rather than judging the activities of Lord or judging the activities of devotee. We should think that what I am supposed to do, how I am supposed to respond to this situation. So that should be our consciousness. I am saying, but I am not at that level. No, at least this is theory. Practical, we are supposed to apply. This pray that I will also apply what I am saying. Okay, so we end here. Thank you all very much for your kind attention. Srila Prabhupada ki jai, Granthra Srimad Bhagavatam ki